Antony, who is currently a software developer at Safaricom PLC.
I'd written down the companies that I need to work for. One of them was Safaricom.
This man has defied all the rules, having majored in geography and using his skills to venture in the tech industry and now running the tech industry.
I decided to take a piece of paper, write down everything that I need to become who I am today.
Is it okay to settle on a niche?
And that's why I emphasize a lot on students building their own project. Something they can say, I touch the lives of other people.
Try everything out and see where it all lands.
Because at the end of the day, all of us will die. And at least when you're 6 feet under, people remember.
I've learned AI, cybersecurity, software engineering, and I'm a journalist.
And I took them through my application.
Yeah.
Wow, my friend interviewed me.
Yeah. This is the tech terrain. In the past few years, we've been able to see and experience how the tech industry is ever evolving, changing and expanding boundaries beyond the status quo. In this episode, we're going to share with you how you can use your skills in the tech space. If you're a tech enthusiast, then this show is for you. Today, we are joined with our guest, Antony, who is currently a software developer at Safaricom PLC. This man has defied all the rules, having majored in geography and using his skills to venture in the tech industry and now running the tech industry. This is the tech terrain. I'm going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself in your own words.
Like you mentioned, I'm Antony, a software engineer, a father, a family man, brothers and sisters. My journey to where I am today started a long time ago, around 2017. I've really gone through a lot of channels to basically build my skills and to position myself at Safaricom.
The first thing I would want to talk about is you. Who is Antony? What has Antony been through? As you've said, you've faced a lot of challenges before you could get yourself to where you are right now. You've been through a lot. So what are these things that you have seen and experienced as Antony, and what can we learn from them?
Yeah, the first thing you can learn from me is Antony is a very determined person. Considering the fact that my journey is not like the normal journey you'd expect for any software engineer. I started my software engineering journey in my late second year, early third year. That is at Moi University. I was majoring in geography. And when I stumbled myself on software engineering and programming in general, was on one unit introduced to programming, and that was with Python. And to be honest, at that point, my bachelor in geography wasn't something that I was interested in that much. Yeah, so I was like, let me try something else that I feel at this point, and then that time, I was very passionate about. So I ventured into learning how to code. I taught myself how to code in my third year, my fourth year. I even had a chance to teach my fellow students how to code. On one occasion, the highlight for that year for me was one of our lecturers attended my classes.
Yeah.
So those are the few things then that really made me see the potential that programming and software engineering has in my life and in our society in general.
That is actually quite inspiring. I feel like with your journey, you've been able to strengthen the skills that you already have. Okay, you've talked about your lecturer. Your lecturer having to attend one of your classes, and I feel like that is a big. That's something big for you. There's a way, in some sense, you were being shaped into what you are right now. What do you think are those experiences that have shaped you into the person that you are right now as a software developer and in your current position?
Yeah, Good question. I think it is progressive. In the beginning, uh, when I started coding, let me just go take you through what really inspired me, and maybe you'll make sense of what really made me who I am today. In one of school organization called GSAMO, Geographic, Geographic Association of Moi University. I happen to be a leader there, a secretary there. So during those occasions and meetings that we had, one of our students, one of the fellow students showed us a job description for a software engineer that can really code and can actually do geography at the same time.
Okay.
So in that area of geography, you have something we call geographic information systems, which is basically a merge between geography and technology. On the technology side, I wasn't very good at all. But on the geography side, I was very good.
Perfect.
So yeah, exactly. That's when I was like, yes, I can actually merge these two and really be a career person that can also mentor other people. So and then the JD was really cool.
Yeah.
The JD was like, we need someone who has skills in geography together with software engineering. And the salary range was really good.
What was the salary
Then it
range?
was 900,000 Kenyan shillings.
Okay.
And
Okay.
but that role was for a senior engineer.
Okay.
But I was like, if a normal engineer could get that role, it would be around 500. So my guess wasn't that wrong.
Yeah.
So that really sparked the fire for me to start coding. So then I didn't even have a computer. And I was like, how can I get started and I don't have a computer? Yes, we do had labs back at my university, but as you know, the facility was very limited. It was not adequate. We had so many students who used to go to the lab. So I decided, I had a smartphone then.
Yeah.
I decided to download an app for programming. Then it was Python, and the program was just a Python interpreter program. I installed it on my phone. I remember very well. I was actually, like I said, I was in Moi University.
Yeah.
I was traveling from Eldoret town to Moi University, and I had installed the app. I learned coding. I started coding from that bus from Eldoret town to Moi University back in campus. And that's how the passion grew over the years up to now.
Yeah. So I feel like there's so much determination and hard work in like the things that you do. Because I remember the time that we were talking before, and you said that you literally had a checklist. You had a checklist of the things that you wanted to achieve in life.
Absolutely.
And you've been checking them through this far. Okay? So I feel like there is a lesson there to be learned, especially with us Gen Zs. I feel like we just touch something, we're tired. Go touch something else, and then we're tired. So what would you say about that? Like, I feel like it's very important for example, as a person, if I'm a camera person, I need to learn editing skills. Very many things now when it comes to the photography and videography world. What do you think? What is your thought when it comes to touching up on things? Is it okay to settle on a niche, or is it okay to just try everything out and see where it all lands?
Yeah, I think good question again. For me, it started with a dream of wanting to become somebody. And I was like, I've been dreaming for very many years, but I've never written down the things that I really wanted to achieve in life. So one of the dreams that I had then was to become a software engineer. Immediately after I started learning how to code, I was like, let me now keep track of the things that will drive me through all these challenges and successes to where I want to be. So I was like, and then I didn't have a laptop. I decided to take a piece of paper, write down everything that I need to become who I am today. And it is funny, I wish I came with a piece of paper I forgot again. But it is really old and all that. So I wrote down things like, I want to buy a laptop worth 60,000. I would like to. Then I couldn't even afford a single room because I was still in college. My parents are the one sorting the bills. I wrote down I want to stay in a house, a single room first, then go to a bed sitter, then go to a 2-bedroom or even more. I even wrote the type of clothes that I need to put on by then. I even had a budget of the things that I'm going to buy in the house.
Yeah.
So I think, and it also applies in life, when you have something written down and you're determined to achieve or go for everything that you want in life, you can actually achieve them. But you writing them down and keeping them somewhere and checking the list kind of keeps you on track.
Reminds you every time of what you need to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe before you go, in terms of now career, I'd written down the companies that I need to work for. One of them was Safaricom, interestingly.
Yeah, because who is there now? That is actually quite interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah?
And I think I need to go to back to that list and tick now.
Yeah, you're at Safaricom.
I actually forgot. I need to go, and it's very important to check that list and confirm. That affirmation is very important. Yeah.
Okay. So I feel now there's the skipped question, which is the niche.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think about that? Like, should we be touching up on everything, or should we perfect a skill and settle on something? Because I feel like with your journey, because your journey is actually quite interesting. Sit down in a geography class, there's a unit on programming, and boom, my mind is switched. Okay? There's a JD that wants this. You know, it's like there is a sequential process to how your life is moving. And I feel like the things that you've learned, like now along the way, you started somewhere, used your geography skills, get into the tech space, and now Safaricom PLC.
Yeah.
You know, so what do you think about settling on a niche versus expanding and exploring?
Yeah, I think when you're very young, let's say 20, 25, you really can't tell what you want to become. As much as you say I want to become a doctor, but you don't really put a lot of effort or energy towards that. So for me, in terms of now answering the question about the niche, as a young person, you really need to identify what you really want to be in life and just work for that. And that will mean, again, doing so many things because you have to learn, make mistakes, but also just around the niche, you need to identify a mentor.
Now that you've mentioned mentorship, I feel like that's now where I want us to delve into. Because remember when we were talking earlier, and you said there's a time you used to work and at 6 a.m. you just find yourself in the office. Yeah? Like it used to time, like at 6.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on, but you're at the office. So I feel as if, again, your hard work has been seen through that.
Yeah.
And like these things just don't come. Like as you've just not woken up in the morning, you've written down a concise list of what you want. You've been taking it out along the way. But I feel as if also the people that you've met along the way are also quite important. So maybe you could share with us who have been your mentors along the way, and especially how are they important when it comes to...
The person who posted the JD earlier back in college is actually my mentor.
Oh.
I think that's the first day, that was day one for him to becoming my mentor. And he didn't know. Because even after that, now I started following him up, asking him questions and all that.
Yeah, you were just relaxed. It's a process, yeah?
Exactly.
Okay.
So in terms of mentorship, you really need to have somebody to hold your hand because you really need to save time and resources. I used to go to the office. By 6 a.m. I was in the office. By 8, I was leaving the office 8 p.m., 7 p.m.
Oh my God. I feel intimidated, in all honesty, and I'm not even feeling motivated. I'm feeling quite intimidated. I'm just like, I
really needed to be a software engineer, and I'm also a firstborn. So I was looking back and I'm like, I really need to have good examples to my siblings. So, and I knew later on I'll have a family. You know, as a man, you have a lot of responsibilities that you need to take care of.
I think we've already mentioned this before, the fact that you took geography, but then ended up in the software development space. Do you feel like someone taking cybersecurity can now venture into AI? Because now you see tech is and AI, that's the new thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like if as a person you're not focusing on knowing how to code, knowing computers, because I feel like there's a point everybody was like, we need to know how to, like, we need to learn computer packages. At this point, I feel like you need to learn software development, like you need to learn how to code. So do you feel like someone, for example, someone like me?
Software engineering is the only career that people from different careers can join.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
So I can join.
Anybody can join.
Okay.
The story is one of the students was actually a fisherman.
Oh,
Yeah, he was a fisherman.
okay.
And he also stumbled upon software engineering, just like I did. But immediately after that, he got a very good job at Andela, and he's doing really well. So we also have examples of people coming from the medicine side of things. They now merge medicine and software engineering, where they build systems for hospitals and things like that. You have people from doing psychology. I have a close friend who works at, I don't know if it is good to mention, but is in a very good startup here in Kenya, who did, I think it was psychology. Right now is a DevOps engineer at that particular company. And when we had this conversation with him, because now we are the same, it was like, this I also got started. I taught myself, did some courses online. The beauty of learning software engineering is very cheap, actually.
Yeah.
It's very, very cheap. So long as you have data, you have internet, determination, and probably discipline, you can venture into software engineering and even secure a job.
Yeah.
And this applies to anyone who wants to also learn how to code or even pursuing software engineering. You have to really understand the basics. Even for you to even pursue any other thing related to tech, that is cybersecurity, machine learning, you have to have the basics of software engineering. Because with those skills, it will make you be an efficient staff or I don't know if the right word to use, worker. Yeah, because it will save you time. Unlike someone who has not learned any software engineering or programming, for them it's going to take a longer time.
A longer time, yeah.
But moving forward, things are getting much easier. AI.
I feel like us Gen Zs, to some extent, we've just been going to school. It's like, it's something that we are supposed to do. It's something which your parents pay for. You just go to school, you know. So it has reached a point, I don't feel like we know as much what is actually in the job market. Yeah, we might have the skills, and the skills are very theory, but now what we go and encounter when it comes to the job market becomes, you know, completely different. So, like for example, here at Incepta Kenya, we offer courses in cybersecurity, digital marketing, software development, you know. What can you tell a person who is here studying these things and they want to use the skills that they're using to go somewhere else and actually go as far as you have?
Yeah, my advice would be for each and every student who is at Incepta, you really need to know what you really want in your career, that is in software engineering now. By identifying that, you won't really need someone to guide you most of the time, because you can actually guide yourself. And being at Incepta and a learning institution like this, you will get help in terms of what you really need to study and what you don't need to study. And then that is number one. And number two, while here at Incepta, in this institution, you really need to take the assignments very seriously. I know this sounds cliche.
Yeah.
We used to be told back in high school.
Do your homework.
Yeah, do your homework. Normalize the homework.
Yeah.
But now, this is the real deal now. Because in software engineering, what really matters is the skill and the experience that you have. And you can actually jump 1 year ahead of other people if you go ahead and do your assignments. And I know those assignments are in form of projects. So if maybe a tutor gives you a project to do or an assignment to do, let's say to build a login feature for a website, Go build 3 of them.
Yeah.
By building 3 of them, and that is the mantra that I use even now.
Yeah.
If I want to learn anything, even where I'm working right now, for example, I get an assignment to do something that I'm not confident in. What I would do is go build similar 3 projects to boost my confidence and get my skills at par. The most important skill actually now that I've remembered is to learning how to research. And I think in the future, software engineering students and even career people will be called researchers on Google.
Yeah.
Because if you know the right question to ask Google, it saves you time to solve a problem.
Yeah. There's a lot of AI-driven systems that are currently, I feel like I wake up to a new one every day. I thought ChatGPT was the one. There's Gemini. Every time I wake up, there's an advert on a new AI system. So I feel like it's just evolving and evolving with every breaking dawn. How do you feel like systems like this, ChatGPT, language processors, how do you think that these things are going to affect the job market?
Yeah, it's going to affect the job market really big time, more specifically in tech world. And that is not something that should really scare you. So for anyone who is in software engineering or has taken this path, and now we have advent of AI and all that, you really just need to keep on learning, pick up new skills that come with these new technologies that are coming. Because I remember when we had computer packages, the only smart job you would do then is maybe data entry.
Yeah.
But right now it's no longer data entry.
Yeah.
AI can actually do data entry. But then if you didn't know computer packages, you couldn't secure a job in data entry. So my advice at this point is for people to take AI positively, as much as we really don't know for sure where we're heading. But having the skills in software engineering and programming places you in a very good position compared to other people who really don't know programming.
What do you think is now the future of AI?
Oh, interesting question. I can't say definitively what we're going to have in the next 5 years.
Yeah, because in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Everything changes. Like you said, you wake up in the morning and something else comes up. AI can recommend secure code that you need to add. It can automate tasks for you. So AI is a good thing, I would say, at this point for software engineering world. And I wouldn't say for other careers. In the future, we're going to have these machines do these things on their own.
Yeah.
And that means we're going to have people losing their jobs. For example, in the US, we've seen trucks driving themselves.
Yeah.
Where are these truck drivers going to do next after being laid off because of AI or machine learning can do everything for them. So it is kind of scary for other fields, but I think in software engineering, it's more, we should take it positively. Because on our side, it kind of improves our work and will really encourage parents to consider taking their students to this kind of institution because it will help them. Unlike our parents' day and ages, when you were told, do agriculture, do business. You remember when you were joining Form 1, your parents like, agriculture, ndio kitu. That's the only thing you need to do. Yeah. But right now, times are changing, things are changing. And I think at this day and age, technology is the right way to.
So I think now we've finished the first segment of the show. And now we have this part. Now we do the quick fire questions, okay? So just at the top of your head, go. Okay? So the first question will be, as a software developer, what is the difference between AI, machine learning, and large language models? Don't worry, I don't know the answer.
I think for me, I would explain it the way I've experienced them. Now, first of all, for AI is basically computer systems or programs that that make recommendation based on the data that they have already stored. They've come up with patterns, and after that, they can be used for planning, prediction, and decision making.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Machine learning almost similar, but for machine learning is more of like you have data, and that data might be structured or unstructured, and using that data you can actually come up with patterns, and with those patterns you can basically come up with decisions. So you use these computers to learn or make sense out of that data that we have, and make recommendation or prediction. So for large language models, it's more of speech speech processing,
Okay.
where we have already collected data,
Oh.
and we can actually use a computer. Let me use a computer on a higher level to basically come up with a kind of speech-related text.
Okay.
Yeah, for example, ChatGPT, you can ask it a question in an English statement, and it will respond back to you. We've even gone further in tech, where we have like sound-related models. We can ask a question by just voice, and it gets you feedback.
How do you view the integration of cybersecurity in the software development life cycle?
Yeah, again, I'll use my experience. So in software development life cycle, is maybe you might know this. It's just basically the standards and the requirements and procedures that we need for us to develop a stable and usable systems.
Okay.
And long time ago, the security aspect was not being added. Now that we've mentioned cybersecurity in that whole process, having cybersecurity in that process really helps in terms of understanding how best you can develop a solution or a program by incorporating best standards in security. That would mean writing secure code. That will mean developing secure pipelines, because these softwares and programs that we're building, they're going to be used by other people, it's going to impact other people. And we know very well that we have people with different mindsets, and people will want to manipulate your system.
Yeah.
So during the software development life cycle, that has to come in mind that as much as this software is going to be used by other people, we have other kind of users that we want to incorporate or maybe do funny stuff or misuse your system.
I actually feel like I'm dealing with a smart person.
Really?
That's the good thing. Like I feel like I'm dealing with a smart person.
I'm not.
I'm giving you smart people.
I'm just a regular person.
Here at the tech terrain, deal with smart people. Along your journey, as you're growing, strengthening your skills, moving from, there's one time you talked about working at RAF. Area. And then there's a time you also talked about Immobilis. Okay?
Yeah.
So I feel like you've transitioned from one scape to another scape. Is there some projects you've done here there that didn't work out? They just, as a software developer?
So let me start with those that didn't work out, and then go to those that really worked out.
Yeah.
And then we'll get the sense why did I drop certain projects. So I have a couple of projects that didn't work out. They're just sitting somewhere online.
Yeah.
We have something called GitHub. Basically, is where you store your code online for developers. And one project was called Usafi Hub. So Usafi Hub, you see the way you have Mama Fua come to your house, and this is a project that I look forward to continue doing or developing.
Smart people.
So I was looking forward to developing an application whereby, just like Uber, you'll go to your app and then scan for or search for any nearby Mama Fua. And on that app, you can actually see how that person is credible. Because unaweza leta mtu kwa nyumba kubebe vitu kwa nyumba. So you'll have things like star rating. So that you know, umse nikimuita kwa nyumba, they'll do a really good job. And on that platform also, Mama Fua can report cases where maybe they've been raped. I've heard of people who do other stuff to this Mama Fua, which is very, very unfortunate. But on that platform, you can have processes where people can report such cases. And now in terms of transaction, after Mama Fua is done and everything, they pay via my app, and then I pay them.
Okay.
And I'll be deducting a certain amount
Yeah.
as commission. Let's say 100 bob for starters, or even 50 bob for starters. Yeah, that's what I was looking. It didn't work. It's just slipping somewhere.
I feel like it's a very good idea. Like from my point, I will use the app.
Yeah.
I will use it. I want to
You'll use it.
That.
Now, this
Yeah.
other project really worked. And before, so while at Immobilis, I developed an app. And then it was 2020 when we had COVID. COVID had just started. And people were struggling to get the actual data on how people are dying and everything like that. You could only see on Citizen people are dying in China, but you couldn't really get the actual number because the number kept on changing. Even here in Kenya, it kept on changing.
Yeah.
So I was like, why can't I build a web scraping application or a website that has all that information for every country in the world? So I developed an application where you could see live the numbers changing. Like you have this number of people who died and all that.
In real time, eh?
Yeah. And that application actually made me secure my now next job at ARIA.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were like, I really like your profile. Would you take us through the project that we built before?
Yeah.
And I took them through my application. They were like, wow, my friend, interview Lisha.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, we didn't even continue. It was more like, oh, really? How's your family? Yeah, exactly. And that's how I secured the job.
The job, eh?
And that's why I emphasize a lot on students building their own project. Something they can say, I touch the lives of other people with.
Okay, so I feel like with that, before we come to the end of the interview, maybe you just tell our audience, just give us a parting shot.
You need to really love what you're doing or be passionate.
Yeah.
Because in the long run, you're going to spend over 30 years of your life doing something. Making money or earning. So for us students, even at Applies in Life, really need to identify something that you really love doing and work on it. Yeah, that's what has been my driving force all along. And if you feel like you're doing something that maybe you're forced to do, most probably in an African setting, I just try and convince your parents. Because even my story back in college, when I was majoring in geography, my parents were like, even the course itself, it sounds funny. Not really funny, but someone won't really understand what you're going to do. It's really kind of general.
Like buildings, land,
exactly.
What are you doing?
There's planning, like city planning. You see how Nairobi has been planned. That is under that degree. There's surveying, how you can survey a piece of land. And there's also incorporation of weather, climate. So it's really, really very
and I
broad.
remember even at one time, you talked about working at Google Maps, and how that geography and that the software development merge at that point. Because now you have to have the best of both worlds and use it to create the best.
That's a very good example. And now that we mentioned, that is what I used to tell my parents then. Because they're like, what are you going to do after this? Who are you going to be? Are you going to be a surveyor? Are you going to be a planner? So I used to give them an example of, you see how you use Google? That is geography. That is a map that you're looking at. But it's an interactive map that can actually tell you where you are, where facilities are. So I would really encourage young men and women who probably they have been forced to do something that they don't want to do, to try and convince their parents and give them reason as to why they really need to pursue this world or this journey. Because from life experience, parents really love us so much, and they will always be scared if you try and pursue something that they've never pursued before.
They don't see a future. I think with that, we have come to the end of the show. This was the Tech Terrain episode 2 with our guest, Antony Njila. I hope you've been able to learn something from it because I've learned AI, cybersecurity, software engineering, and I'm a journalist, okay? So I hope you've gotten 1, 2, 3 things from it, and I hope that this episode has actually been helpful to you. And with that, we will see you in the next episode. Bye.